Macho Talks Sports now. Macho Talks Sports. Macho Talks Sports. Macho Talks Sports.
Welcome to Macho Talks Sports Episode 9. I'm your disappointed yet optimistic host, Macho, but allow me to introduce my co-host here. Starting off, we got from AybarReport, representing Big Blue. They eating W's tonight. The Dark Knight, Mr. Darth Vader himself. Ayo, Ryan Aybar. How you doing, cuz?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Not as well, unfortunately. But I'm glad that you're here, and I'm glad you're doing well. We're going to kick it off to the next one. From Macho Talks Sports. He can't see out his windows because all his curtains are made of steel. Representing the black and yellow Steeler Nation, we got Daniel Flores. How you doing, bro?
I'm doing great, bro. Doing great. Happy to be here. I feel a little Irish today, but that's just part of it.
Hey, you got it done. You got the W. I'm sure you're feeling good right now. Speaking of feeling good, we're gonna move on to this next one. Last but not least, from cityboytimes, Mr. There's only 25 alphabets in the English language because he doesn't know what an L is right now. Mr. 4-0, representing Bills Mafia, we got Omar Gomez. How you doing, bro?
I am feeling ecstatic about my Bills. It's the revenge tour, my brother. The revenge tour.
Them boys is on a tear right now. They are absolutely on a tear. So we got a great show for you guys. There's a slight change of format. We're going to review all the Week 4 games, but in an effort to try to save time, we're going to have one person cover each game individually. That way we could kind of get into some other topics and questions after the review. But we're going to start these reviews off with Thursday Night Football. We got Seattle versus Arizona, or as I like to call it, Kyler Murray versus Marvin Harrison Jr. Ryan, please take it away.
Yeah, so I'm not gonna dive too much into the stats and the numbers, but for the most part, Seattle just kind of dominated the entirety of the football game. Arizona did score on 3 of their final 4 drives. But ultimately, the game was decided by a kickoff penalty that Arizona committed, setting up Seattle with good field position with about 30 seconds left. What really stood out to me in this game was Kyler Murray finally being able to find Marvin Harrison Jr. in the end zone. The poor guy, Marvin Harrison Jr., just seems to have lost his confidence. I mean, the guy is talented. Right, his talent is not in question here, but there's clear issues, like you mentioned, between Kyler Murray and Marvin Harrison Jr. So,
yeah, no, he was so excited to actually catch a touchdown pass, to actually see the ball. He got 10 targets in this game, but there was a lot of miscommunication going on there to the point where he finally got the communication going. He looked like he wanted to cry after that touchdown. So It was good that they finally got it together. Hopefully that's something that they could kind of continue on into the next game. But going into the next game, let me mute that. This next matchup, so the Cardinals and the Hawks put up 20-23, and we'll raise you a point. So we got Pittsburgh actually beating Minnesota 21-24 in Dublin. Flores, please tell us about this river dance here.
So it was actually refreshing to finally see the offense make some splash plays, the defense continue with just what they started off last week in stopping the run, forcing turnovers, getting some sacks. It was Ireland, so we had to show up for Art Rooney up in the heavens. We had to really, really represent Steeler country. But I was just honestly happy how this game started and not so happy how it ended. But in the end, just like always, we got the dub. Ramsey got called back on a touchdown that he recovered a fumble. TJ Watt was doing his thing. TJ Watt is still TJ Watt. In the first 3 games, because, I've come up here and I've just been disappointed in the Steeler defense, and it's been Swiss cheese. But I'm going to say this. In the first 2 games, they had 3 sacks, 3 takeaways. Okay. The last 2, 10 sacks, 7 takeaways. So little by little, we're righting the ship. Right now, as it stands, we're second in takeaways. We're tied 8th in fewest giveaways, which that's why we wanted Aaron Rodgers to take care of the football. And then we're second in turnover differential. If there is one way to be 3-1 with not having a high-powered functioning offense, is to win the turnover battle week in, week out. That is Mike Tomlin football. And the reason why I wasn't so happy with this game, Mike Tomlin on a 4th and 3 decides to go for it, to go up 3 scores. Okay, I get it. You have the balls to call that. All right. We didn't get it. Then we get the field goal blocked. Okay, that's fine. All right. Now, to put the game away on the Vikings 40-yard line, on a 4th and 1, he decides to take the penalty and punt. And these are the types of decisions that drive Steeler fans absolutely up the wall. And once again, we end up in a close game. And once again, we end up winning a close game, which actually puts Tomlin. He passes Tony Dungy for the highest career winning percentage in 1-score games. I don't know if it's just Tomlin has a fetish for these types of things. Yep. But right now, he's 99, 61, and 2 all time. Again, passing Tony Dungy. And then Aaron Rodgers, does his thing. And I'm just happy with Aaron. I'm happy with the offense. I'm happy how the defense actually mixed it up, because I was expecting to get blown out, especially how Kevin O'Connell has that offense going, even with Carson Wentz. I thought Carson Wentz was going to see the beautiful Irish people and be like, you know what? I need to show out for the guys here. And he did. He did throw, for 350 yards. But then that other side of Carson Wentz showed up and, had the 2 picks. But I'm just happy we got the dub, man. And 3-1, we're up in the division, AFC North, which right now everybody seems to be hurt or just not a good football team like the Browns. So it's looking good right now.
This is definitely a chance to kind of run away with that. And then even with Jalen Warren being out, you got someone like Kenneth Gainwell coming in and stepping up, doing a little bit of everything. Back to your takeaways, you got 2 picks off of Carson Wentz. But what you said is kind of perfect with just Mike Tomlin just having that fetish for those one-score games. It's like he purposely tries to make sure that it ends up in a one-score game for some reason. I think he's aware of the record, and he's just trying to make sure that he puts up the numbers.
Stat pad it.
Yeah, make sure nobody touches him in that. But you come away with the W, and we're going to move on. We're going from out of the country to upstate, where we got the Bills taking down the Saints 31-19. Omar, what you got for this?
Well, let's just call it what it is right now. The game wasn't perfect by the Bills. It wasn't a pretty game. It was not. But Josh Allen, 16 of 22, 209 yards, 2 touchdowns, one intel. James Cook, like I said previously, he's cooking. 117 rush yards. That man is cooking. He's really helping Josh Allen out, because I know in week 1 we spoke about how Josh Allen didn't have any weapons. Well, James Cook is a weapon. He's been doing it all for Josh Allen. He's been, taking the load off of him. It wasn't a pretty game, but they came back with they came back to win. You know what I mean? They did their thing. The highlight for me in this game was it was a 27-yard run by Josh Allen. He just bulldozed the guy. I'm like, bro, where did you get this much power, bro? You look like a whole linebacker out there. And I'm sitting in here like, oh my God, he just bulldozed somebody.
Looking like Brandon Jacobs out there.
Bro, he really bulldozed somebody. So to me, it's really a highlight for me when you see a quarterback bulldoze somebody like that. So it wasn't pretty, but we got the W, 4-0. Josh Allen revenge tour. I think this is going to be the year that if they keep up this consistent play, the defense keeps up, Josh Allen, and if Cook keeps cooking, we have a good chance of making it to the Super Bowl this year if Cook keeps cooking, like I said.
Yeah, definitely can't deny that. It was kind of a close game in the beginning, but then as the game went on, the Bills took away and went away with the win. Josh Allen, I did think his MVP last year was Fugazi, and I think he hears the naysayers saying that it's not just me. It's kind of it's an ongoing thing, and I think he's here to kind of prove that wasn't Fugazi, and he's going to outdo what he did last year. He's on pace for it. Back to James Cook, absolutely cooking, another touchdown in this game. I think he had a touchdown in every single game so far, multiple touchdowns in some of them. And the Bills look scary, man. 4-0. I'm sure that must feel good. I'm kind of in the opposite section here, unfortunately. But we're going to move on from the elite Bills into Mr. Elite himself, Joe Flacco. We got the Browns losing 10-34 to the Lions here. And this one was part of my let him cook. I thought the Browns had a chance to win this game. And I know the score looks a little crazy. It looks like a blowout. And it was a blowout towards the end of it. But the Browns were putting up a decent fight. It's just only so much you can do when your quarterback just keeps turning the ball over. He's up to 6 interceptions in the season. He had 2 more this week. Went 50% completion, 184 yards. That's not going to get it done against an elite team like Detroit, who's elite on both sides of the field. They were able to kind of put a little bit of a hinder on that rushing game that went absolutely nuts last week. But there's only so much you can do when you're a mediocre team. You have a 40-something-year-old quarterback. He's not an Aaron Rodgers type of quarterback where he's taking care of the ball. He's the complete opposite. He's a gunslinger that doesn't have the power that he used to, doesn't have the accuracy that he used to, and doesn't have the weapons to kind of get away with it either. So the Lions did catch up to them. It's unfortunate because I do like the Browns this year. I know they're 1-3. I know that they're not a good team, but I do love seeing teams like that trying to come back and fight. I mean, Goff was just doing enough just to skate by. He didn't really have to go crazy. 168 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interceptions. The Lions are a great team, but I think they'll get better as the year goes on because this is also a team that is dealing still with that new offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator. This is week 4. You can kind of see them putting it together. And as they get into their groove, they're going to be a scary team in the future and someone to definitely look forward to in the playoffs. And that's pretty much all I got for that game. We're going to be moving on to probably the most exciting game for one of our co-hosts here. Speaking of quarterback, waiting for his opportunity, we have a quarterback that made the most out of his opportunity. That's Jackson Dart leading the Giants to their first win, 21-18 against the Chargers. Ryan, this is your moment.
Yeah, so the Giants came into this game with a clear plan. Obviously, like you mentioned, Jackson Dart, rookie debut, right? Coming into the week, an absurd amount of pressure for the rookie quarterback stepping in against one of the top defenses in the NFL, right? They had a clear plan, though. It was run the hell out of the football and control the time of possession, right? Jackson Dart did not have to do much. Unfortunately, the devastating injury did take place to Malik Neighbors. That was absolutely devastating. But outside of that, what really stood out to me in this game was Jackson Dart in his first drive leads this New York Football Giants offense on an 89-yard drive, ending on a 15-yard rushing touchdown. I mean, the guy brings fire. He brings energy. He brings passion, and most importantly to Giants fans, he brings hope, right? Like the last rookie quarterback to lead in their debut an 80 or longer yard drive ending on a touchdown was rookie Patrick Mahomes. So I mean, it was just, the defense came up big. They forced 2 big turnovers on Justin Herbert. And then just when you think that everything was going down the drain after the Malik Neighbors injury, Jackson Dart starts grabbing his hamstring in the second quarter.
Yep.
But that's another thing that stood out to me is like this guy just kind of gave me that the feel of a winning quarterback. He stayed in the game, and not only did he make winning decisions and winning plays, but he didn't make rookie mistakes. And I think that's what's key here in this game is that a lot of people going into this game really expected him to make rookie mistakes, rightfully so, against one of the top defenses in the NFL. And he didn't, right? So while a lot of people look at the stat sheet and say, well, he only threw for 110 yards. Like, yes, that's right. But on the flip side to it, he didn't make mistakes. He made winning plays. He stayed in the game, and he led that New York Giants football offense to a win against one of the top defenses in the NFL without one of the premier receivers in the NFL for an entire second half. That was absolutely awesome. I'm really excited for Jackson Dart and his future with the New York Giants.
Yeah, you felt it from the beginning of this game, just the difference with the aura of the Giants, their locker room, the players, and you felt it on both sides too. It felt like the defense was even more motivated. Unfortunately, on the Chargers side, they did deal with another injury on the offensive line. Slater went down in the beginning of the season, and now they had their boy. What's his name? Slipping my mind. Was that left tackle Joe Alt going down? So they're down their two best offensive linemen. But this is also a team that was looking like a Super Bowl contender those first 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So Jackson Dart did still find a way to come out of it, like you said, with the unfortunate injury to Malik Neighbors. You hate to see that. Malik Neighbors is somebody that is kind of a rookie quarterback's best friend. He's going to make things a little bit easier. You can put him all over the field. You can put him on the outside, put him on the inside of the line. You can move him around. He's somebody that can beat almost any DB in coverage. So you love to have someone like that can make it just a little bit easier for someone like a Jackson Dart, but he didn't hinder at all when that happened.
Mm-hmm.
He came back in. He showed his versatility, got his touchdown in the passing, and then also on the ground. That was the first touchdown that came through. So you love to see that. Mostly, you just love to see the team fight. You love to see that passion coming out of them. So I'm sure that was great to see. Good.
And I just want to add one more thing really quick to see even after Malik, because I think people don't understand, like Malik Neighbors goes down in the first half, right? We still got an entire second half of football to play. Jackson Dart is grabbing his hamstring. To see both sides of the football, you brought up a great point, rally around a rookie the way they did.
Yep.
That to me, as a Giants fan, and I'm sure all Giants fans agree, that to me was very, very impressive. And it felt promising. It felt like, okay, we may have just turned the corner and we may have just found a quarterback.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm very interested. I'm definitely going to watch the rest of this year and watch him closely to just kind of see how he progressed, because also as this being his first start, the defense don't really have any footage on him to kind of game plan for him. So to see if he can continue this type of, like you said, even though he's a rookie, he wasn't making his rookie mistakes. He was being smart with the ball and everything. So I want to see if that continues on. And if that does, that's just going to give a lot more optimism to the Giants organization as a whole. But we're going to be moving on from a game with a terrible injury to a team with nothing but injuries, honestly, with the 49ers taking the L against the Jacksonville Jaguars 21-26. Flores, did Lawrence answer any questions for you in this game? Because we had a bunch of questions on it.
He did not, and he still continues not to. Honestly, their rushing attack is really what led steady the ship and control the tempo throughout the game. And also it what helped is that their defense has become very, very opportunistic, to where they like to get the turnover and then they turn those into field goals, or try to get touchdowns, because Lawrence sometimes does not turn that into points. But honestly, my thing is Brock Purdy. I know he's a little banged up, but the way that Mac Jones played with that offense and with Kyle Shanahan, and I know Shanahan has a soft spot for Mac Jones because he's always liked them, even when he was back in Alabama. There might be some quarterback controversy going on in the 49ers, depending on what happens next week. If Brock Purdy needs to play better because he's paid, first of all, and two, they have a team they're built to win now. If Purdy can't get his stuff under control and his turnovers and place the ball and move the ball how he needs to with C-Mac and Pearsall and everybody, even though everybody is kind of banged up and miraculously C-Mac is the only one that's kind of the only one that's healthy.
Yeah.
There might be a quarterback change there until that whole team finally gets their stuff together. As far as Jacksonville being 3-1, that is incredible on its own. Hats off to Liam Cohen, and we shall see how they move forward, how they progress. But Jacksonville may have something brewing, but kind of like the Packers situation, I am, completely hesitant on their quarterback play.
Agreed. Agreed. Brock Purdy was also dealing with his own injuries coming into this game, and I think probably re-injured himself in the middle of this game as well. Everybody was kind of getting re-injured. They had Jawan Jennings coming back in this game and then getting re-injured
And got
as
hurt.
well. Yeah, like
Mhm.
the 49ers have the worst injury luck. Nick Bosa out for the rest of the year. But like you said, CMC somehow just remaining healthy and
Yep.
he's and you feel bad for him because as being one of the best running backs in the game, he can't really find the rushing yards that he used to because that offensive line is washed or hurt. It's not the same offensive line that they're used to, and I mean somehow they're still 3-1, which is miraculous. Going to Jacksonville, you said with their turnovers, they have 13 turnovers. That's leading the NFL right now in turnovers, which I don't think any of us expected that coming into this season. So I mean, good for them. That offense is still very questionable, starting with Trevor Lawrence. BTJ finally did get hurt. That was only a matter of time, the way that they were throwing him the ball and the type of pockets that they were trying to throw him the ball in. But I mean, both teams 3-1 after this. Both teams still have some optimism. 49ers need to get healthy. Jaguars need to figure it out on offense. That running game is looking very good. The passing game needs to come together. But we're going to move on from a disappointing quarterback in Trevor Lawrence to a quarterback exceeding expectations. We got Danny Dimes taking an unfortunate L to the Rams. I'm looking at you, 89 Mitchell. Omar, what you got for this game?
Daniel Jones, I say because the numbers are there, but it's just like this is the first week I would say that he threw more interceptions than touchdowns. So he was 24 of 33, 262 yards, one touchdown and two interceptions. And I know that everybody saw at the end of the game that like drop ball. Like I think that would have really brought momentum to the Colts.
Yeah.
But that for you to drop it and guys at the goal line, bro, like at the goal line, if you would have dropped it at the 5, listen, we can recover from that. But you dropped it when it was like it could have been a touchdown if you would have just had possession of the ball. Like me personally, if I was a Colts fan, I'd have been just like so frustrated.
They
With
are.
Yeah.
You're
and
pissed off.
I know you guys would agree with me. That was a winnable game. That was
I'm not a
definitely
Colts
a winnable.
fan, and I was pissed off.
You guys would agree with me. That was a winnable game. That game was winnable.
100%.
That changed the whole game.
The momentum shifted. Like you could tell that the momentum just shifted to the Rams.
Absolutely.
And it's just heartbreaking to see because it's like week after week you see the Colts win, and even though you're not Colts fans, it's like you want them to succeed, like you want them to keep it going, especially for like Daniel Jones. Like Daniel Jones is spectacular. Matthew Stafford 375 yards, 3 touchdowns, very impressive.
That boy good. Still good.
Yeah, he's still good. And correct me if I'm wrong, he's getting up there in age as well. Correct?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Late
Playing like
38, I believe.
playing like he was 25, putting up numbers like if he was 26, 27 years old. Guy doesn't even remember what age he is. He doesn't even remember. He forgot his birthday. Let's just call it what it is. And it was just an exciting game for me to watch. It was an exciting game. Just very frustrating. Like I said, I'm just going to touch base again on what I said before. It's just frustrating that play that he just dropped the ball. What could have been a touchdown. You don't want to see that as if you was a Colts fan. You're like, oh.
And what sucks is that you compound that with the holding penalty that he got after Jonathan Taylor breaks free and gives the Colts the lead. Jonathan Taylor doing Jonathan Taylor things on that nasty run all the way to the house, and then flag coming back. Who's the culprit? Oh man, yeah. Colts fans want this guy gone, but he's a talented dude. It's just got to hold on to the ball, man.
It's unfortunate. He's a young boy too. I think he was just drafted last year or something like that. It's either his second or third year. So, and he didn't get that much playing time in his first couple of years either. So he's still trying to get acclimated. But it was a complete momentum killer. The Colts, like you said, definitely could have came away with this win. Matthew Stafford had a lot of questions coming into the season. Was super unhealthy. His back was destroying him. He couldn't even practice. Comes into the season, he said, "I'm gonna just throw the ball to Puka. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna just keep giving it to Puka. Just keep feeding that boy. 15 targets, 13 receptions,
Yeah, man.
170 yards, and
He's,
a
I think,
touchdown.
if I'm not mistaken, he's leading the league in reception. He has
Oh yeah,
like
He
he's
sure
at least
Mm-hmm.
projected to like over 2,000
Okay.
yards.
yeah.
Over
Yeah.
two,
If
Megatron
we
numbers,
remember,
literally Megatron
I was
numbers.
I was just gonna say, if we remember the top two receiving yards in a season, if I'm not mistaken, both of them have been with Matthew Stafford. It's Calvin
Yeah,
Johnson
Kevin.
and
Man,
Cooper Cup.
That's true.
And
Yep.
Puka Nakua is actually trending towards that as well. Puka,
Yep.
he
Yeah.
might be the best receiver in football at the moment.
I think he has
That's
like
a
over 500 yards. Flores, I think he has like over
Yeah.
500 yards in the last couple of games.
He got almost
that's a
200
great
just this
point.
week alone. Yeah.
Great point, Daniel. Great point.
Yeah, he's completely dogging. And when you have a receiver like that, it makes it a little easier for the quarterback. Going back to the injury with Neighbors, I mean that's something that he kind of would have had, where it's just somebody that can kind of just win on all levels of the field. But the Rams come away with this win. It was a heartbreaking win for the Colts. Back to what Omar said, the Colts, even though we're not Colts fans, they're fun to root for. You know what I'm saying? You like to see them succeed. And the Rams team that is very damn good. The Rams team that should be 4-0. They should have beat the Eagles. Unfortunately, some stuff happened. But
Yep.
great team, great game. Adonai Mitchell needs to step it up. I don't. They have to do something to him, bench him something. He has to. There has to be some type of repercussions coming from that.
To him is crazy.
I mean, they have to. They have to. I'm sorry. You can't get away with a performance like that. I mean, he came in, got 3 catches for 96 yards, which you love to see. But those 2 penalties, I mean, 1 penalty and then that 1 fumble turning a touchdown into a touchback. Like you just can't do that.
Why?
No one even hit him. It was just him losing the ball because he tried to reach out for no reason. It was ridiculous. It was ridiculous. You hate to see that. But we're going to move on to the Patriots absolutely taking care of business. The Carolina Panthers losing 13-42. It was an ass whipping from the beginning to the end, so much so that they took Drake May out the game because he had nothing to play for. The Patriots went turnover free, went 4 for 4 in the red zone. They scored at will. Even the special teams got a tutty. On the other side, the Panthers, absolute ass. Chuba can't get it going. Bryce looks like he's slowly regressing. That defense looks terrible. The rookie wide receiver in Tedorola McMillan, he looks pretty good, but they can't get him the ball. He is winning on his routes. He is getting open, but for some reason, they just can't get the ball to him. And he was drafted there to try to make things easier for Bryce Young, but Bryce Young's not able to find him. So much to the point where they put Andy Dalton in. Andy Dalton comes in 5 for 6, 58 yards and a touchdown. Maybe there's some quarterback controversy going on there.
Just like last year.
Just like last year, they benched him because he was doing so bad, and then he did respond to that and end up doing good towards the end of the season. But to regress again like this after they drafted you a quarterback in the first round, just congratulations to the Patriots. We are not Patriots fans here, but good ball is good ball. They completely dogged the Panthers, and for a team like that, you have to take care of the easy games on your schedule because the Patriots aren't really playing for a playoff spot, really. So you have to try to stack up these winnable games, and they took care of business here.
They might be.
I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, the Bills winning that division, I don't think they win enough games to get to that wild card. But you love to see a game like this. Drake May, only 14 completions, but still 203 yards and 2 touchdowns. Like, he was just doing what he had to do. Trevion Henderson getting some burn. We love to see that. Ramondre Stevenson got too many rushing attempts. In my opinion, we should still be feeding this rookie. But I don't know. I don't know if they have something against Trevion Henderson. I don't know if maybe that's something that he's not doing in practices or something that the coach doesn't like, or just because he's a rookie, they want him to earn it more. But you got to give him more burn. You have to give him more burn. And that's something I think Ryan said last week, something that we all kind of agree on that sentiment. But we're going to move on from one former number 1 pick to another former number 1 pick. We got Caleb Williams beating the Raiders 25-24. Ryan, what you got for this game?
Yeah, man. So the Raiders, man, their rushing attack finally, right?
Yeah.
They dominated this game. They had more rushing yards in this game than in their first 3 weeks combined. They rushed for a combined total of 240 rushing yards. Ashton Jency, 21 carries, 138 yards, 1 rushing touchdown. Finally, right?
Yep.
Ultimately, obviously, the game came down to Chicago's defense and special teams. The Bears got big plays when they needed them, interceptions, forced fumbles, and a blocked field goal, and they ultimately ended up just coming up with the win. But I think it was refreshing for any football fan in general to finally see Ashton Genty have a big game, right?
Yep.
So that's really what stood out to me in this one.
Finally.
Yeah. That Michael Myers stance came back in effect. They didn't let him do it for some reason the first couple of weeks. They let him do it today and in this game here, and he just kind of took off. Just I guess playing more carefree. That the offensive line I still have a lot of questions, but Ashton Genty is good enough to try to work through it. Geno Smith though, 3 interceptions. He started off hot. He's going backwards. I don't know what's going on there.
The Geno Smith experience, man.
Exactly. I mean, we spoke about how much Pete Carroll loves him, but I don't know if he loves him enough to keep throwing him out there if he's going to keep playing like this. I don't see what's the reason of throwing him out there. This is a game that could have been winnable. That Bears defense isn't an amazing defense. So for them to get those takeaways, as you said, is it's their fault. There's nothing that they could do about that. But it was great to see Ashton Genty coming alive for this game, man. Very exciting rookie. But we're gonna move on to the GOAT, Patty Mahomes, taking down his son Lamar Jackson. No one enjoyed this game more than probably Daniel Flores here. So we're gonna go to Daniel. Please tell us about this game.
So honestly, like you said, Patrick Mahomes just adding more stuff to the GOAT debate at the end of the day, right? He becomes the fastest quarterback to get to 250 touchdowns. This dude threw for 4 touchdowns, 270 yards, no turnovers. The Chiefs were perfect on 4th down when they did go for it. And all it took was one weapon to come back for Mahomes. One weapon to come back for Mahomes. We didn't see all the extracurricular that Mahomes is definitely capable of. But honestly, the Chiefs, like Pat McAfee says, the Chiefs are still the Chiefs until proven otherwise. This team is obviously dangerous. They're in the middle of a dynasty. As long as you have Patrick Mahomes, you're always going to be favored in absolutely every and any game, regardless of opponent. Now, on the flip side, let's talk a little bit of what's going on with my rival, the Ravens. Ravens defense last year were terrible all up until week 10. Then they figured it out, and from there, they were very stingy. This year, for whatever odd reason, again, they're struggling. Now, I know that they have injuries, and a major injury being Kyle Van Noy, so the pressure is not there. Then on the back end, you have Hamilton also kind of getting hurt, and then just a bunch of different key pieces, elements that are missing on that defense. But the decline of Derrick Henry, they can't get the rushing going. Lamar is still Lamar, but now Lamar has a hamstring injury, and he's going to be out for 2 to 3 weeks. They're 1-3. Could this possibly be doom and gloom for the Ravens? Are the Ravens going to be 1-5, 1-6 by the time Lamar comes back? I don't see the Ravens coming back from this, especially if that defense keeps playing the way that it is, and that offensive line just all of a sudden being Swiss cheese. And you have Lamar Jackson, which is the most agile, has bodies flying all over him, and he's able to escape sacks. It doesn't matter who's the backup is; they're not going to do any better, and they're 1-3 again.
Right.
It sucks for Ravens fans, because honestly, as a Steelers fans, we want to go up against Lamar Jackson because we've been all right against him. It's going to be a tough 2 to 3 weeks for the Ravens, and that may determine the outcome of their year, when a lot of people were saying they were Super Bowl favorites. And it might be the Bills' year, or the Chiefs might just come in there and take it again.
Omar has something to say about that with the Bills over there. But I completely agree with everything you said. Patrick Mahomes just needed one. Just give me one weapon to work with. He gets that in Xavier Worthy coming back, and Xavier Worthy ends up being the leading receiver and the leading rusher. He came back and he said if he was going to come back, he wanted to be able to do everything. He wanted to have no leash on him. So Andy Reid did give him that and grant him that wish. He came in, did what he had to do. Patrick Mahomes did Patrick Mahomes type things. And like you said, Lamar Jackson, man, they're 1-3. And if Lamar Jackson is missing weeks, Cooper Rush can't get it done. If Lamar couldn't get it done, Cooper Rush isn't going to get it done. And that's no slight to Cooper Rush. I think he's a pretty good backup, but Lamar Jackson is the greatest weapon on offense. Like you said, he can avoid sacks. He can obviously he improved a lot on his passing ability as well. But Cooper Rush being the starting quarterback, Derrick Henry, like you said, just reverting back to I don't know what the hell is going on with Derrick Henry. He started off hot and now he's just a shell of himself. But if they go into this 1-5, 1-6 type hole, I don't think the Ravens have anything to play for at that point. And the Chiefs kind of going in that other trajectory where they're starting to get a little more healthy. They got 2 more weeks until Rice comes back and they're back at full health. And I think Patrick Mahomes
a scary sight.
Yeah, completely gonna just take off as they normally do. But we're gonna move on. We're gonna move on to going on to Atlanta versus Washington with the Falcons pulling out the win, 34-27. Omar, what you got for this game?
I think that after the Falcons got their ass whooped, they should have. There's no way that you can lose a game after that embarrassing performance last week. You had to come out strong. You had to get the W. You had to, mentally, you had to win, because if not mentally, you'd have been messed up. So, a couple of stats. Mr. Michael Penix Jr., 20 of 26, 313 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 in total.
Let's clarify. Penix Jr.
Penix.
Yeah.
Penix.
Penix Jr. is what that news that news outlet called him.
He played like penis.
Yeah,
first couple of weeks.
But
Yeah,
it's funny you say that, Flores. That's where I got it from, because when I heard the name, I'm like, wait a minute, what did they say? And they did pronounce it like that. On the Washington side, Mariota starting 16 of 27, 156 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 in total.
Mm-hmm.
I really believe that this was a winnable game for the Commanders, even if they had Mariota, it was winnable, because Atlanta, coming off of last week, they didn't come into this game thinking that they were going to win. They were so they were their own worst enemy, especially after last week. So I feel like the Commanders could have won, but I feel like they gave up. I feel like they weren't fighting anymore. The game was like I said, it's within reach, and they just gave up. It's like, what are you doing out there? Like, do you even want to play anymore? That's what I felt watching them play. I was like, what is going on here right now? It's not even a fun game to watch anymore. It's like they gave up. They're like handed the win to the Falcons. Like, here, just take it. Just take it. We feel bad for you.
Yeah. For me, I think Bijan Robinson needs to get more praise. He's absolutely killing it this year. He's literally on pace for 1,100 receiving yards, 1,300 rushing yards. Like, he's killing on both sides of the field. Both sides of the offense, helping Michael Penix. Michael Penix has a good game after coming off of that dud last week where they had to bench him. 20 for 26, 313 yards. You love to see that. I think coming into the season, I wouldn't say high on Michael Penix, but we had some pretty good projections for him. We thought he was somebody that knows how to have good ball placement, make good decisions. We didn't really see that too much in the first 3 weeks. He comes out and takes over with the Commanders here, the 435 yards on the Commanders, but still only a 1-score game. This is a game that they probably should have took off. I mean, with no JD5 on the Commander side, you're going against Mariota, and the fact that it's still this close doesn't give me much optimism for the future, but they do take care of this week, winning this game. But we're going to be moving on to the biggest blowout of the week. We got the Texans beating the Titans 26-0. There's not much to say about this game other than the Titans completely dominated. I feel bad for Cam Ward. He's even calling the Titans ass in the post conference. Yeah. And in a way, I love to see that, because it's like, he almost reminds me of the Anthony Edwards of the NFL, where he's just going to speak his mind, but it's coming from a place of wanting to win. That's the kind of quarterback that you want. You want somebody that's mad that they're losing. Even if he understands the team's ass, he feels like he wants to give them the chance to actually come away with a win and be competitive. And in this one, there was absolutely no competition. Shroud finally having a good game, going 22 for 28, 233 yards, 2 touchdowns. It was a breakout game for Woody Marks coming out of nowhere with his 17 rushing attempts, 69 yards and a touchdown. Then he also gets 4 catches for 50 yards and another tutty. So I'm starting to think that Woody Marks might be taking over Nick Chubb's starting spot. Let's see what he could do. The rookie looked good in this game, but then again, we also have to keep in mind it is against the Titans, who looks bad on both sides of the field, gaining less than 200 total yards in this game. The Texans defense is very good. Titans offense very bad. Titans are primed for another number 1 pick this season. That's kind of the outlook here, and the Texans got to bye this week. But we're going to be moving on to the most anticlimactic game of the week. It was a barn burner between the Packers and the Cowboys, 40-40, but ending in a tie. Ryan, please tell us about this game.
Yeah, so first of all, this game was just everywhere. I'm going to give you some quick key takeaways really quick, and then I'll tell you what really stood out to me ultimately. But Romeo Doubs, 3 touchdown catches, right? Like, what?
What a day.
Yeah, nobody. I didn't have that on my bingo card. A blocked extra yeah. A blocked extra point by Dallas, returned for 2 points. Dallas settling for a 22-yard field goal in OT, and then Green Bay storming back down the field to kick a 34-yarder to tie the game in OT, and then a defense in the Green Bay Packers who in the first 3 weeks of the NFL season was looking like one of the best defenses in the NFL, allowed 40 points to the Dallas Cowboys without CeeDee Lamb. Micah Parsons only 1 sack, that coming in overtime. But ultimately what this game really or what I should say is what really stands out to me in this game is the result of this game leaving both Dallas Cowboys fans and Green Bay Packers fans asking themselves, who really won this trade?
Yeah.
Because it's like on one end, you got the Green Bay Packers who, like I just mentioned, are looking like one of the best defenses in the NFL, coming in to just wreck this Dallas team, which is what everybody anticipated. Right. And then on the other side, you have a Dallas Cowboys team who is vulnerable on both sides of the football. That secondary being compromised. Obviously, the defensive line with no Micah Parsons. And then on the offensive side of the football, without their best weapon on the football field, it's like it's kind of a head scratcher for both fan bases. Like, who are we and who really won this trade?
Yeah, no, I completely agree. Yeah, you said with Dobbs having a great game, Pickens on the other side also an amazing game, and like you said, they're down their best weapon. The Cowboys are down their best weapon, so you would think it would only make sense to guard their other best wide receiver, and they could not stop him for some reason. 8 catches, 134 yards, and 2 touchdowns. I could say so much about this game, but the biggest thing that just pisses me off is the fact that this primetime Sunday night game ending in a tie. We cannot have that. We cannot have that. There has to be some type of tiebreaker. Let them slap box or something like that. There has to be something to determine a winner. This is so anticlimactic because this was a great game as well. So to have a great game going into a tie, and then you have someone like Jerry Jones saying, "I'm fine with it." Like, that's just such a loser mentality, and I hate to see something like that. The NFL has to do something about that. They have to change that. They do so many rule changes. Change the tie. The tie. We cannot have ties in football. I
think he answered that question that way. One, in a snobby manner, because while it doesn't make him look wrong for his decision to make or to trade Micah Parsons, it still doesn't make him look right, and he's just okay with it.
He's cool with that result,
right?
Yeah, 100%.
Which is
he's like, this corny. Is the guy you guys got mad I traded. And look, we just 40
they can't even beat us.
Like, please.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
such a loser mentality. I'm done with ties. I'm done with Jerry Jones too, and I'm not even a Cowboys fan. But that was a very anticlimactic way to end our Sunday nights. But we're going to be going into Monday with the Bengals losing to the Broncos 28-3. Flores, what the hell happened here?
Honestly, if you stayed up to watch this game, I props to you, because this was, unless you're a Broncos fan, you really were the only ones that enjoyed this game, because Bengals fans are in complete hell. Now, I do want to say this. The Bengals are built completely wrong. They're built around Joe Burrow, yes, but you have to protect your generational talent QB, and you have to build from the line out, not from out in. Yes, you have Jamar Chase. Yes, you have T. Higgins, but you need to protect the guy that took you to a Super Bowl and was sacked. I believe in that whole run, he was sacked in one game. He was sacked 11 times. They have yet to find a way to protect Joe Burrow. Now, as a Steelers fans, I love that they're dysfunctional, but as a football purist, like, please protect this man. I've mentioned it before. I don't want Joe Burrow to end up like an Andrew Luck, but right now the Cincinnati Bengals are not putting the money where they're supposed to. You can outscore a team 40 to, I don't know, 40, because their defense is also ass. I mean, by the half, Bo Nix had, I believe, 3 tutties, 220 yards or something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's bad. If once you take out that generational talent, you see what this team truly is, and it's not good. It is just not good. Bengals fans, I would urge you to just write, kind of like your diplomats, write to your governor, write to your selected officials, and ask for a change. But honestly, something needs to happen, and protect the money, protect Joe Burrow, protect the football, for that whole entire organization to move forward. It's bad. 28-3. Congrats to the Broncos. The Bengals didn't do absolutely anything.
Yeah, no, you hit everything. I completely agree with everything. The Bengals being just a badly built team, and also just a historically cheap team. So even when they do have good players, they don't, like you said, their defense is ass, and they waited until the very last second to pay their best defensive player in Trey Hendrickson. So much to the point where they didn't want to pay him that they drafted Shamar Stewart, and then didn't want to pay Shamar Stewart either. So it's like, what the hell is going on with this team? What is going on from the inside within? Bengals fans should just be storming the streets right now. I don't understand what's going on here. But we're going to move on to this next game with Philly and Tampa Bay. So we got the Eagles beating Tampa Bay 31-25. Omar, tell me what you saw in this game.
What everybody saw, Macho, the fake tush push. Like, how do you trick somebody like that? How do you fake it? Fake it, as they say, Macho, fake it to make it. They made it. Another thing that stood out to me was Dallas go dirt with I was just watching the game like, who?
Wide receiver one.
Yeah, I'm like, who? Kid went off. He went off, and on the Buck side, you touched space about it last week. Baker Mayfield. This is the comeback player of the year. Like, he's really doing his thing. If you would have told me Baker Mayfield was gonna do this 2 years ago, 3 years, I'd be like, man, he's an F up. He's not gonna do any of that. He's just gonna mess it up again. He's gonna end up on another team. But he had a good game. He had correct me if I'm wrong, he had a 77-yarder and a 72-yarder. Correct me if I'm wrong there.
I believe so.
Yeah,
impressive. Right. And to me, impressive. Very impressive. The way that the kid's been playing. Whether he wins or he loses, he's going to be a winner all the time, because we didn't expect it for him to do this like 360 with his career. So to me, even though he loses, it's a win for him, because he's showing people that he belongs in this league, and that he's going to continue to progress. That the time for games is over, and he's locked in. He smells playoffs, and that's what he wants. And I think that the highlight of my week is Baker Mayfield. He's well, not the week. The game is Baker Mayfield. He's doing his thing, and we didn't expect. None of us expected Baker Mayfield to do anything this year, but he's making noise.
So I definitely think that he was going to be good. I didn't think he'd be this good because also considering the circumstances with Mike Evans going out, Godwin not being healthy for those first couple of weeks, he's getting it done with his rookie wide receiver in Emeka Ibuka, and then Bucky Irvin kind of just doing it all in this game as well. Tampa Bay always plays Philly very well. They even knocked them out in the first round a couple of years ago. Like they kind of just have their number. Same thing with the Rams. They just kind of always play them perfectly. But Philly again finds another way to get it done. They only had 200 total yards in this game and got it done with 31 points too. Like I don't know how the hell they're doing it. They're barely throwing the ball. 130 yards and 2 touchdowns. It's ridiculous how they keep getting it done. But
I'm sorry. This game was winnable.
Yeah,
the Bucs could have won this game. It's not like the Eagles were blowing them out at any point in the game. This game was winnable if they would have just locked in. I feel like I told you last week, every week, I feel like any team can beat the Eagles. They don't have that intimidating factor that they did last year. And I think me and Flores agreed on about that last week, but we were like, they don't have that intimidating factor anymore. Last year, when people played the Eagles, they'd be like, oh, man, we got to be careful they don't whoop our ass by like 20. This year, it's like, we can beat them. If we lock in, we can beat them this year. That's how I feel.
No, yeah, I completely agree.
Their special teams really has carried them big time. I mean, they had a blocked punt to start the game and then return it for a touchdown. That already puts the Bucs behind the 8 ball. They're finding ways. I mean, they are really credit to them finding ways to win, but Saquon also hasn't been really running wild either. That's something else that may not come to fruition this year. We don't know.
Yeah, he got away with a bunch of explosive plays last year, and this year I don't think he has one yet. But I mean, he's still getting it done, doing what he has to do to contribute to this win. Eagles again, 4-0. The Bucs fall to 3-1, but still a very great 3-1. So nothing to be putting your head down about. You just come back and go after it again next week.
I did want to add something there. Hats off to Baker Mayfield, right? Because I like yourself expected some regression from Baker Mayfield, given an aging Mike Evans. How much longer can he sustain his production, right? Coming into the year with no Chris Godwin due to injury, and then the fact that Baker Mayfield put up career high numbers last year, right? Everything. Passing yards, rushing. QBR, rushing, like literally every single stat that you could possibly think of, right? So I expected a lot of regression from Baker Mayfield coming into this season, but I mean, he's still doing it. He's a competitor. He's fiery. He's passionate. And that team really rallies around him, and it's great to see, like Omar said, given where he was just a few years ago and the situation that he was in with his career. He was borderline a journeyman with nowhere to go pretty much, and cool to see. Hats off to him.
100%. Agreed. Going from something cool to see to something terrible to see. The Jets losing 21-27 to the Dolphins. This was the battle of the 0-3 teams. One of us was getting a win this week, and of course it's not the Jets. Why not? Let's go over it. The Jets come out to a pretty hot start in the beginning, driving down the field. Braylon Allen, turnover. Turnovers have been killing us this year. Turnover and penalties have been our worst enemy. We have been our own worst enemy. Other than week 2, where we completely got killed by the Bills, week 1, week 3, and this week again was another winnable game that we could have won. Another winnable game, but we can not stop getting in our own way. Bree said it himself, where it's like these other teams shoot themselves in the foot, but we come back and shoot ourselves in the head and just completely take us out of it. And it's frustrating as hell to see. It doesn't help when the refs are also giving us BS calls with like the offensive pass interference with that Garrett Wilson touchdown. Should have been touchdown. He should have had 2 touchdowns this game. That one touchdown that they did actually count was an amazing catch behind the cornerback's back, and then even switched hands in between as he's going down, keeping both feet. He's an amazing receiver, and I just feel bad for him that we can't find ways to win. And I know it sucks because he's a damn competitor. Brees Hall, another one, he's a competitor, but we're building this losing culture around here, and it rubs off to the point where we're just almost expecting to lose every week. And that's the worst culture that you want. Coming in with Aaron Glenn as our new coach, there was optimism in the offseason. Our defense was supposed to be our strong point, and he's a defensive back, played for the Jets. We thought it was a perfect marriage, and our defense is probably the worst part of our team now. And I don't understand it. I completely do not understand it. Justin Fields went 20 for 27, 226 yards, and a touchdown. Pretty good stats. It's a little more padded than it looks, so it looks very well. But if you watch the game, it was kind of sloppy how he got there. It was a lot of dink and dunk, a lot of quick passes and stuff like that. Brees Hall ended up becoming the workhorse because unfortunately Braylon Allen did go out, and I believe he's going to be put on IR soon. So they're trying to figure that out. And if he's not on IR, he's at least missing a couple of weeks, which sucks. But at the same time, Brees Hall thrived being the bell cow there. And since we got Braylon Allen, since we got Isaiah Davis, we've been trying to take a lot more off his plate. And I don't think that he's somebody that needs the touches in order to keep going. So in a way, I feel like this is going to benefit Brees Hall a lot, but at the same time, we're losing somebody. And the way that we lost him also sucks. We lost him in the kick return. There's something that's going on this year with teams, not just the Jets, with teams all across. And as the Steelers, that with Caleb Johnson, like they're putting random people as kick returners and punt returners this year. And I don't understand it. People that aren't built, people that have never even played the position before, and they're just thrusting them in there. And I don't get it. I don't understand it. Another heartbreaking loss. It's annoying as hell. I have a couple of things I wanted to touch real quick. A couple of bad things. So we're -7 on the turnover battle between offense and defense in all 4 weeks. We haven't had any turnovers on our side, I believe. I don't think we've gotten one turnover on defense, which is, again, strong point was supposed to be defense, and we cannot take the ball away. We're 29th in points allowed. We're 22nd in yards allowed. We're 30th in interceptions because we have none, and 24 in sacks. I don't recognize this team. I do not recognize this team. I don't know what the hell is going on. A couple of good things that I did want to point out because I hate just being completely negative. We're 9th in third down conversions. We're 11th in the red zone offense, 9th in rushing offense, and then we're 7 for 7 in field goals. Nick Foles' old ass is getting it done somehow, but he's losing some leg power too, so we can't even attempt a field goal past 55 yards. We're just hindered and undisciplined and sloppy, and it is so goddamn frustrating to watch. I just want a goddamn win. We out yardage them by 104 yards and still end up losing. Like I don't understand what the hell is going on with this Jets team, and it's pissing me off. It really is pissing me off. But one thing I will say to end it off is that I went into this year expecting the Jets not to be good, right? I didn't think that we were going to make a playoffs or anything like that, but I did want to see some type of fight. I did want to see, like, when I give credit for the Browns and stuff like that, like, I don't really see that with the Jets, and that's what really hurts me the most. I need to see more fight out of them, and I need to see a lot less penalties and just stupid plays. Stupid plays. Do you guys have anything that you want to say about this game?
I'm going to save mine because it has to do with
later
another segment we have later on.
Gotcha.
So,
gotcha.
But you hit it. You hit it right on the money.
Yeah, I can see why it's so demoralizing. You know, you expect Aaron Glenn to come in and he talked the talk. He said he was going to change the culture. He's going to make them physical. And again, I'm going to tell you, I apologize for the Steelers making you look, adequate that first week, but it's not being disciplined, is turnovers and key moments of the game. And it's just that defense. I thought your defense was at least going to be good.
So real quick, go ahead. actually
Yeah,
get finished with
at
you.
the moment, it's not. Yeah, it doesn't look great.
So real quick before Omar gets in, we did look adequate week one, but I think that was who we are. We are an adequate team, but we've again in week one we fumbled in that kick return. Then we
Mhm,
let you guys score again after that on defense. Like
mhm.
we're right there, and then we always just find a freaking way to lose it. It's so goddamn annoying. Omar, did you have something you want to say?
Just briefly, I just want to say, looking at the stats, like it can't be that you have 400 yards and can't win a game. I don't understand that either. Like, you got 400 yards. There's no way that you can pull off 3 or 4 touchdowns out of 400 yards. One. Two, where's the identity of this Jets team? You market defense as your go-to thing. You have disappointed your fans. You have disappointed football fans because you have not played defense. Defense is not your forte. You guys have, it's just disappointing, not only for Jets fans, but just football in general. And like, what is your identity? Where is your identity? We've spoken so much about identity. The Jets' identity is defense, but they're not showing us defense. They're showing us mediocre games with a talented team, because it's not like you have scrubs on defense. You have a talented young team, and you're wasting their prime. Like, you have the team. You're not trash. Not at all. So I don't know. I don't know if it's the coach. I don't know if it's the playbook. I don't know. I don't know, Macho.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. I can't put it all on Aaron Glenn because at the end of the day, the players have to play. So,
Mhm.
but it does start. I mean, it looks like we're uncoached.
I can put a lot of it on Aaron Glenn, and I'm gonna get
You
into
can.
that.
You definitely can. You definitely can. I just wouldn't put it all on him, but you definitely have to give him a lot of blame because, I mean, he's the head coach and he's the person that's supposed to get us ready for these games, and we look unready. So we're going to go into a quick ad break, and then we will be right back with a couple of questions.
Hey Macho, what is Planet Euphoria?
Planet Euphoria is a clothing company based out of upstate New York with the best designs and sports tees on the market. They have everything from basketball, football, baseball, music artists, anime, and so much more.
Do they have any deals?
Right now, they have a buy one, get one 50% off promo for a limited time. But if you want to save just a little bit more, use code Macho Talks Sports for 25% off of your entire order.
That's so cool. I'm gonna order some right now. What's the website again?
PlanetEuphoria.com. Use the QR code on the screen or click the link in the description. PlanetEuphoria.com. Let them know that Macho Talks Sports sent you. And we are back. Real quick, I just did want to give a shout out to Engine 53 in New York, FDNY. That is the fire department that my brother works for. I just want to thank him and El Barrios Bravest for the hat and for showing love to the show. Thank you guys for everything that you guys do. And then we're going to move on to this. I wanted to know for you guys, as I change this real quick, what was your highlight of the week? It could be a player, it could be a team, it could be a player's a highlight or whatever it is that you want. What was your highlight of the week? And I'm going to start with Ryan for this one.
Jackson Dart, 89-yard drive, like I mentioned earlier, ending on a 15-yard rushing touchdown. More specifically, the way the team responded and rallied around that rookie. Like I mentioned earlier, on that 15-yard rushing touchdown, that drive was the first drive since rookie Patrick Mahomes, who also led an 80 or longer first drive ending on a touchdown as a rookie. But really what it boils down to is the fire, the energy, the passion, the hope he brought, and the way both sides of the football kind of rallied around him after the Malik Neighbors injury. And then after he starts grabbing his hamstring, he made winning plays. He didn't make rookie mistakes. They executed the game plan, and that rookie in his rookie debut beat a top 5 defense in the NFL.
Love it. Love it. And then Omar, for you, what is your highlight of the week?
I call it the 88-yard plot twist with Tutu. I don't know if I'm saying his name right. I don't know how to say it.
Tutu Atwell.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Tutu his go-ahead touchdown with like a minute and 33 left. I think that was the highlight of my week. And I think even though that's not our team, or it's not the team that you follow, you still appreciate good football. And that to me was the highlight of my week. That go ahead, it's just so clutch and the right moments. Everything just fell all into place. That whole play, and that's not something that you see in every game. So that to me was very impressive.
I love that. I love that. And then Flores, what was your highlight of the week?
To me, it was the Detroit Lions offensive unit as a whole being able to still play to that caliber and not necessarily running the ball well. We know that's their calling card, but also being able to pass the ball. It, Amon St. Brown is seemingly always open. The Vikings didn't do great. The Bears are so, and I mean the Packers don't look as elite as we expected. So it looks like the Lions are back in the driver's seat. Moving forward, they completely took care of business against the number one rated defense in the NFL, that are the Cleveland Browns, that made the Packers look like absolute trash. So to me, it's just that offensive line, that offensive unit, the new offensive coordinator, Dan Campbell, has those boys playing great with those big onions of his. Yeah, to me is the Lions. That they're my winning team of this week.
Dan Campbell's onions. That's a tongue twister. Dan Campbell's onions, the highlight of the week. I love that. For me, mine is going to be the Chiefs, specifically Patrick Mahomes getting his one weapon back. Finally, you being able to see what this Chiefs offense normally should be like. Obviously, those first couple of weeks were, I don't want to say a fluke, but it was kind of just, it was very un-Chiefs like. They still found a way to get at least one win out of those 3 weeks. But now with him finally getting Xavier Worthy back, of potentially getting Rashee Rice back, maybe that opens up some lanes for Travis Kelce to finally get some plays in himself. But for me, the Chiefs offense getting right, and also getting right against the Ravens on top of that, I think that was huge for them. That was huge for morale. And also just another way to kind of little brother the Ravens, which they do so good at. So for me, the Chiefs offense is definitely the highlight of the week. And then we're going to go into the biggest loser of the week. And I'm going to start with Flores for this one. Who's your biggest loser?
It seems like it's a common thing now. It's a play that continues to happen. Special teams. Special teams.
I like that.
Like, for whatever reason, the guy's kicking, the guy's punting. It seems like now it's completely easy to just block one of those kicks, but before it was almost impossible. Yeah. As a unit, they're not looking great across the league. There's a lot of games that flip because of that. It takes a great special team, like the Patriots used to have back in the day, to flip a game. It was always their special teams. In this case, it's just pretty much, it's across the league, and the blockers need to step it up.
Yeah, it's almost expected at this point, which is crazy.
Yep.
But I love that. And now I'm going to kick it off to Omar. Omar, what's your biggest loser of the week?
I call it the touchback of doom. The drop ball by
yes, Adonai Mitchell.
Yeah, I don't even know. I don't even want to pronounce.
I got you.
He needs to redeem himself. If you want me to pronounce your name on the show, redeem yourself. You dropped a would-be touchdown, which shifted the momentum. It really did, and I know all you guys would agree with me. Had he brought it down, momentum would have been still with the Colts, but it just like sucked the confidence out of that team when that happened.
Do you think that's worse than the guys that are running and then before they just like they drop it at like a? Yeah.
Oh no, Flores! I think that's way worse. That is way worse because that's a mental mistake. That's like a mental mistake.
He fumbled it by himself. Like
nobody hit you. Now,
pushed it.
Yeah.
If he would have got rocked, it's different. But he didn't get rocked. He was alone.
Right. Yeah, Hey, I agree. That's definitely the huge loser of the week. And then for Ryan, what is your biggest loser of the week?
Unfortunately, for me, Macho, it is the Jets. More specifically, Aaron Glenn. I have a problem with Aaron Glenn. Why? Because I feel like my problem with him began before the season started, right? You don't come into a new head coaching job and present to the media and sell to the media the idea of these not being the same old Jets. I feel like that one should be backed up. Most importantly, one should be backed up. And two, that is something that should be addressed within the locker room. So he comes in, right, really quickly. He comes in, right, first move was to let go of Aaron Rodgers. That became public. Then he starts throwing shade at the other team in New York. We're not like the other team in New York. And you're kind of setting the bar high when you do things like that as a first year head coach. And then fast forward to now. You brought it up, Daniel. You also brought it up, Macho. I mean, they're -7 in the turnover margin, right? A team who coming into the year was priding themselves on their defense. No fumbles, no interceptions, right? We got the guy jumping around, dancing, on a blocked field goal, right? And it's like you kind of set the bar high, and you got your returners waving down a fair catch at the 2-yard line. You run the ball down the throats of the Miami Dolphins, right? Who's already a banged up defense, and then you fumble at the goal line, right? So it's like it's almost like he kind of shot himself in the foot before the season started, and came in like high and mighty. A lot of this right now, I'm holding Aaron Glenn accountable. My biggest loser are the Jets, but more specifically, it's Aaron Glenn. He needs to be held accountable.
As much as I want to try to defend him, I don't think it's even worth defending at this point, because what you're saying is not wrong. It's not wrong, and I could try to nitpick, but at the same time, it's like we're 0-4. We're a very bad coach team right now, so it's like I'm not going to defend him until he defends us by getting us some goddamn wins. So I like it. Unfortunately, I like it, and it's true. The biggest thing is it's true. For me, my biggest loser is going to be the Ravens. The Ravens going 1-3. This is a Super Bowl contending team. Now 1-3. They're going to be without Lamar for the next couple of weeks. I don't think they put an exact number on it. They said probably 2 to 3 or something like that, but who knows if it could be more. Derrick Henry looks washed. He's a shell of himself. Maybe he's in his own head as well, and they're just looking like they're going to miss the playoffs. And that's just a huge, huge disappointment to what that fan base is probably used to and expecting coming into this year. Even people that aren't fans of them, which we aren't, we expect the Ravens to be one of those top teams coming into this year. And they have the same record as the Giants. They have one more win than the Jets. Like, this is a terrible spot to be in, and then also to be down your quarterback for the next couple of weeks, which is the best part of that offense and the best player on the whole team. They are my biggest loser of the week for sure. Yes.
I want to add something that we haven't addressed yet, but Tyreek Hill, one of the premier receivers in our league, at one point was considered the best football player in the league. You had to have that guy. They paid him as such, and to lose him the way that the Dolphins lost him, it's heartbreaking for not only Tyreek Hill, but for Dolphins fans, when it looked like they got some type of continuity, especially with Darren Waller coming in and I mean, looking great. Just wanted to throw, thoughts and prayers to Tyreek Hill.
I'm glad you threw that in, because you're right. I didn't touch that when I was talking about the game. I was too focused about being mad about the Jets. But no, he deserved the same thing with Malik Neighbors going down and how that was terrible to see. The one good thing that comes out of the Malik Neighbors things is he's young enough to where he's going to be able to come back and come back stronger, with Tyreek Hill being the age that he is, being the type of injury that was, both bones and tendons. We don't know what the hell is going to happen from this point on if he even plays another snap. Speaking of snap, knee. But that's honestly, that's terrible to see. The way that it happened, thankfully he looked like he was in good spirits for some reason, somehow. After it, maybe he was just excited not to have to play with Tua anymore. But that did suck to see that you hate to see those type of things go down. But I'm glad that you brought that up, because I definitely forgot to bring that up. But we're going to go into the future. This is coming out on Wednesday. Next day, we got Thursday night football. I wanted to ask you guys a little prediction of what we thought was going to happen in the 49ers and Rams game. And then I'm going to go to Omar for this one to start this off. What do you think happens in this 49ers and Rams game, and who comes out on top?
You want me to show you what's going to happen at the 49ers game? Look, I'll show you right now. Look. This is what's gonna happen at the 49ers game. This right here. this right here.
Wrist wrap.
Yeah, this right here.
A lot of that.
The whole team. They're gonna give out free ones at the game. Look, there you go. That's what's gonna happen. That's what's gonna happen. They're gonna get free. They're just gonna throw it at the crowd like this. Look.
Yeah, get your Niner merch.
Get your Niner merch. Meet me at the hospital after the game.
Oh my god, I love that. You're not wrong.
Sorry, I just
post that.
I think the Niners are gonna. I think me talking all this smack. I think the Niners are gonna win the game. They're gonna pull it off. How they've been doing it. We don't know how. They've been doing it with all these injuries, but they managed to stay afloat. And I don't know how they're doing it, but they're gonna continue to win. And that's just my take on the game. And a whole bunch of like little fingers, like little finger braces and everything.
Yeah.
But other than that, everybody's gonna be happy.
I love that. And then we're gonna move on to Ryan. Ryan, what do you think is gonna happen in this game, and who comes out on top?
In a less humorous way, I agree. I think the Niners are just too banged up. I think the Rams are gonna run the hell out of the football.
I think so too.
I think they're going to have a big rushing day, and ultimately, what is that going to do? Open up the game in the air, and Matthew Stafford's just going to dice them up. I think the Rams beat the 49ers by at least 2 touchdowns.
That's a big spread.
I like that. And then Flores, what do you think is going to happen in this game, and who comes out on top?
I have to go with the Rams. I agree with Ryan. I don't see the 49ers stopping Stafford, Puka, Devontae Adams, that rushing attack. And the Rams defense is actually very, very good. And like I mentioned before, Brock Purdy is struggling. Yes, they got McCaffrey, but I don't see them stopping Matthew Stafford. I'm very high on the Rams, especially this year. So I do have the Rams coming on top. 2 touchdowns is a lot, but hell, why not? Yeah, Rams by 2 touchdowns.
So I kind of also agree with Ryan here, but I think I see it kind of in the opposite way, where I think that passing game takes over the game and kind of blows up that lead, where they just kind of spam Puka again. It's the same recipe that they had as last week. I see him going for over 100 yards again, easy. And then when that lead kind of grows to a unreachable point, they just kind of keep running it down their throat with Kyron Williams. The 49ers, when healthy, are a pretty good team, but the when, that's the part. When are they going to be healthy? I don't see it happening anytime soon. I'm not even sure if Brock Purdy plays this week, because he's also dealing with his injury. So when they coming in with Mac Jones and then his weapons also being injured, it's like you're asking too much of the 49ers at that point. If they do find a way to pull it out, it would be absolutely miraculous in my eyes. I think that 2 touchdown spread is not very unrealistic at all. I think that could definitely happen, and I like that call. So we are going to hit another quick break, and then we're going to end it off with Let Him Cook. So we'll be right back.
Hey, Macho, what is Planet Euphoria?
Planet Euphoria is a clothing company based out of upstate New York with the best designs and sports tees on the market. They have everything from basketball, football, baseball, music artists, anime, and so much more.
Do they have any deals?
Right now, they have a buy one, get one 50% off promo for a limited time. But if you want to save just a little bit more, use code Macho Talks Sports for 25% off of your entire order.
That's so cool. I'm going to order some right now. What's the website again?
PlanetEuphoria.com. Use the QR code on the screen or click the link in the description. PlanetEuphoria.com. Let them know that Macho Talks Sports sent you. And we are back. That was our last commercial break. Sorry for that. But we are going to get into our favorite segment here. Let him cook.
Let him cook. Let him cook now. Let him cook. I said let him cook.
So I'm going to kick this off, man. I'm going to kick this off, and I'm going to be the idiot that I am and be a Jets fan here. We're going to say that the Jets get their first win next week.
Nice.
I see us getting our first win next week. the hardest part of this is I think that we're going to get less than 7 penalties, which is very tough for us for some reason. And that somehow that helps us win this game by 10. So we get the win, we win by 10, and we have less than 7 penalties. So I'm sure we'll play this back next week and laugh about it because it's probably not going to happen. But that is going to be my let him cook for the week. And then I'm going to kick it off to Flores. Flores, what you got?
So I'm going to go to the Monday night matchup, Kansas City here in Florida in Jacksonville. I think the Jaguars, yes, they take the ball away. They're actually, I think they've only allowed 1 rushing touchdown throughout these 4 games. But their passing defense isn't as solid. So as much as I would love to say, hey, the Jaguars are going to win, no. Mahomes is back, baby. He's got his weapons. I think Mahomes is going to throw the pill all over the yard. I think he's going to go for at least 275, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception.
I love it. Goat Mahomes. And then we're going to kick it off to Omar. Omar, let him cook.
I think that my Bills are going to keep cooking. They're going to get the W. Josh Allen's going to throw for 2 touchdowns. And James cooking that ball, going to get 2 touchdowns and over 100 yards rushing.
I like it. They keep on rolling, and then we're going to roll over to Mr. Giants himself, Mr. Big Blue, Ryan Aybar. Let him cook.
Yeah, so I think coming into this game against the Saints, I think the Saints don't really have a specific wide receiver to game plan against, given that Malik Neighbors is out. I think they're going to key in on Jackson Dart's rushing ability and Cam Scatterbo's rushing ability. And I think this week, Brian Daboll kind of lets Jackson Dart a little loose. I think he throws for over 250 passing yards, scores 3 total touchdowns, and the Giants win by 10 or more.
I like that. I know how excited you'll be if that comes true for sure. You'll probably be a little bit unbearable on next week's episode, but very doable. I love that. I love to see it. And then we are pretty much done here, but I do want to give everybody kind of like a little buzzer beater. 20 seconds. Just let us know what it is that you want us to let us know. I'm going to start this off with NBA is back. Go Lakers. Luka MVP. Just letting you know, just throwing it out there. What a freaking time to be awake and alive. I love it. We're going to go with Ryan. Ryan, buzzer beater. What you got?
Yeah, same, man. Speaking of the NBA, the New York Knicks, they have a bench, new coach, 3rd highest favorite right now to win it all, I believe, and Knicks to the finals.
And then Mr. Omar Gomez, what you got?
I'm excited. I want to see the Knicks actually win it. I'm excited and go Knicks. NBA Finals. Knicks Thunder in the finals. That's what I'm going to say.
Knicks Thunder. That's a sweep right there. Go for Thunders. Mr. Flores, what you got, man?
I'm just going to say we are entering the prime era of sports. We got hockey. We got football. We got basketball. We got baseball. Sorry, Yankee fans. I had to throw it in there. But there's still hope tomorrow. We shall see. Go Magic.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys for coming. This was an amazing episode. Screw Boston. I hate the Red Sox. Let's go Yankees. Thank you guys for coming out. Episode 9, Macho Talks Sports. We out.